What's up, guys? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any more of our videos. Also, make sure you follow us all over social media so you don't miss any of our content or show announcements. Let's talk about Kevin Durant to San Antonio. Sam Amick and John Krasinski of The Athletic reported last night that on Monday night, that Kevin Durant's preferred destination is the San Antonio Spurs. First thing that stuck out over the last week is, judging by the locations of most of these teams, state taxes are clearly a big factor for KD. And I don't blame him. It obviously makes a massive difference to his bottom line with how much, like, we're talking millions of dollars with what he makes every single year. What I thought when I heard the report about San Antonio was, I think KD views the Spurs as a really fun place to end his career. I've been thinking a lot about this concept with KD ever since he went to Golden State and straight up told us that he did it because he wanted to play a fun brand of basketball. I've been thinking a lot since last night about my desire for him to go to a place like Houston potentially, or Minnesota. Those were my two favorite destinations. And juxtaposing it with like Oklahoma City in 2016. Oklahoma City in 2016 would be the closest thing to what going to Houston would look like, right? Oklahoma City in 2016 surrounded Kevin Durant with overwhelming size and physicality. And they wore teams down with their defense. But life was really hard for KD on the offensive end of the floor. He had a couple of really inefficient scoring games in that playoff run before they ended up losing. He was brutally bad down the stretch of the Golden State series in terms of his ability to knock down shots. But it was just a really ugly brand of basketball. Now, the flip side of that is they were one win away from beating a 73-win team and probably being the favorite to win the finals if they would have made it to the finals. So, like, you could argue that Thunder team is the best team he's been on outside of the Golden State Warriors with Steph. And that's the thing where it gets complicated. Like, I could argue if he went to Houston, that'd probably be his best chance to win, because they could surround him with all that physicality and defense. But once again, in Houston, it would be ugly offense. It would be a lot of like 27, 28 field goal attempt nights where he makes 11, 12 shots and has 4 or 5 turnovers, because it's ugly, because it's difficult, because they're depending on him to carry them over the top with his offense based on a defense and physicality model. The NBA Finals are here. This is your last chance to bet on the NBA until next season. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, is pulling out all the stops to make this a finals to remember. One team will be crowned champ, and the other will be lost to history. Who you got winning it all? Put your hoops expertise to the test. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Who's going to carry their team to the chip? Try placing a bet on your personal MVP to drop 30, 40, or maybe even over 50. Ready to place your own bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, lock in your bets, and finish the season as a winner. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Don't miss your last chance to bet on the NBA this season. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code HOOPS. That's HOOPS. That's code HOOPS for new customers to get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins when you bet $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. I think KD wants to play fun basketball. I think KD wants to play free-flowing basketball. And so I think that's why he looks at these teams like Houston and goes, maybe not my jam. And I think that that's fascinating. Even just looking at like why he might have been so interested in Miami. I kept thinking like, man, like Miami doesn't seem close. I don't understand what he'd be looking for there. But then you look at it and it's like Eric Spoelstra, one of the best, offensive organization coaches in the NBA. Bam Adebayo, one of the best 5-out like passing screening fulcrums in the NBA. Tyler Herro, a really good screen shooter that kind of unlocks a lot of those 5-out concepts. Duncan Robinson, that unlocks a lot of those 5-out concepts. I think Kevin Durant looked at Miami as like a place to play some really fun basketball. And I can understand it. Like I'm starting to like kind of feel what he's looking for in this journey. I think he wants to go play a fun brand of basketball for the rest of his career. There are a lot of ways KD can help the Spurs. Just because this wasn't my favorite KD fit doesn't mean it won't still be a huge upgrade for this team and that it won't still be a good fit. He'll be a excellent low man behind Victor Wembanyama, meaning when Victor Wembanyama goes up to the level of ball screens, KD can fill in from behind as another rim protection presence. I talked with Colin on Monday night about how Victor Wembanyama's skill development should take a massive upgrade with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant to me is like the JJ Redick of the current NBA in terms of shooting workout a legend, like the guy that will put Wemby into situations in the gym by themselves where he's going to make substantial improvements. I think of De'Aaron Fox's dribble penetration, like KD at this phase in his career post Achilles, if there's one weakness, he doesn't pressure the rim a ton compared to the way he used to. That's De'Aaron Fox's superpower. I talk about the idea of the weak side scoring forward. If De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama are running ball screens and you want to defend them 3-on-2, that's going to be Kevin freaking Durant on the backside, hitting catch and shoot threes, driving closeouts, like the mother of all weak side scoring forwards. He was the best ISO player in the league last year, albeit at a lower volume. He was the best jump shooter in the league last year. He's still so good at basketball. And I do think that he would be able to help the Spurs. It's not a guarantee he'd go there. Obviously, Phoenix has a certain obligation to try to drive the market for high asset return, especially considering their situation. KD, I don't think, has accomplished so much in Phoenix to where they owe him a certain outcome. But the San Antonio Spurs would be a fun basketball destination for KD. I don't think they'd immediately become a top-tier contender. They'd have shortcomings in terms of role player support. I think they'd be pretty thin and lacking physicality on the front line. Jeremy Sohan would become so vitally important for that team defensively if you bring in a Kevin Durant as just a more trunky physical forward that they would need. There are flaws. I don't think they're going to go win the championship if KD goes to San Antonio, but it would be fun basketball. And I think that KD just wants to play fun basketball. And I think that makes sense, at least within that context.